So you're thinking about house hacking and you're not sure if it's the right move or not in northern New Jersey? Well, today's video, I'm gonna be going over 5 myths about house hacking that you need to hear before you start, because a lot of these things, you're probably gonna be in a little bit of shock. Something like, is New Jersey a landlord-friendly state? Well, I'm here to say that that's a myth, because my wife and I have been doing this for over 10 years now. We're yet to miss a single payment of rent. So if this isn't a landlord-friendly state, well, I mean, we must be very lucky people. Stay tuned on this one. You're gonna wanna hear all these myths because they're gonna make a huge difference for your house hacking journey. Let's get this show started. All right, my name's Sean McIntyre, the house hacking realtor of northern New Jersey. I'm here to help reduce the failure rate of new investors coming into today's market. And I'm gonna start off right here, number 1, high cost of living. Price is very expensive to start house hacking. You know, we are definitely in a more expensive state, northern New Jersey, for sure. But here are the alternatives. You know that house hacking is smart. You understand the concept. You want to reduce your income. You go buy a single family house, that's going to be just as expensive, if not more expensive, because you don't have someone paying the bulk of the mortgage. Let's say you know you want a real estate investor, you're getting maybe pushed by some people to go, hey, let's go invest out of state. Let's run some of the numbers here. Okay, $1 million property in New Jersey is gonna cost you $50,000 because you're gonna be allowed to use a 5% down loan. How much do you think maybe a $400,000 property in another state is gonna cost you? Well, it's probably going to cost you a minimum of $100,000, possibly $125,000, depending on the type of loan you use, because you're only going to be allowed to use investor-style loans. So, as expensive as New Jersey may look on the outside, because you have access to awesome lending and a lot more favorable options in that capacity, it's going to be a lot cheaper, believe it or not. So you can go buy potentially $1 million property with only $50,000, implementing a house hacking strategy. So yeah, the way I see it is it's not as expensive as people make it out to be. But what's good about having an expensive market, you know, higher priced homes, is there's a reason why the homes are a little bit more than other areas. And that's because demand is high, meaning you might be buying an expensive home today, but it's gonna probably be a little bit more expensive, and so on every single year. So what's good about our market is we appreciate pretty substantially. So not that bad of a thing, but at the end of the day, if you're worried about being too expensive, for $50,000, you can get $1 million house. Pretty awesome. Hey, make sure you stick around to the end of this one, because I'm gonna be going over things like, can you cash flow in New Jersey? Yeah, that's a myth. Actually, you can cash flow. I'll be talking about that in a little bit. But before I do, I'm gonna talk about breaking even. A bad thing, is it? Well, I don't think so, because at the end of the day here, as we appreciate on homes, if you're breaking even with your rental income on the property that you're house hacking, the way I always look at it is run the numbers, buy the property, and pretend like you're not living in there. If you're breaking even when you buy the property, it's probably a good deal. Some people might say that it's not. I tend to say it is. Why do I say that? Because we don't just appreciate in the home value, we appreciate in rents. Rents go up significantly in northern New Jersey, especially if you're in the right town. So you want to make sure that you are at a nice break-even point, as if you were to move out of that house hack and that property is functioning on its own, because every year rents are going to go up more and more. So break even today, cash flow tomorrow, the day after, or year after. So yeah, I think breaking even is actually a really, really good spot, and not a bad spot to be in when you buy an investment property. Really quick, drop a comment below. Are you looking to buy a quad, triplex, duplex, or single family for your next house hack? I want to know. Drop a comment below. And number 3 here on the 5 myths about northern New Jersey, eviction court is long. Okay, so look, I'll be very transparent. I can't talk a lot about eviction courts because, well, we've never had to evict anyone. I don't know if that speaks for itself in many ways, because we have the systems in place, my wife and I. So we actually have never had the opportunity to go to eviction court, but I do know how the system works and I understand the process. And I know for a house hacker, you're going to be in for a surprise on this one. In New Jersey, we are extremely landlord friendly for owner occupant landlords, meaning if you live in the property, you get the right to have access. So a court is always going to side in your favor as a house hacker, regardless of the situation and circumstances, because that is you as the owner occupant. So that's a great law that New Jersey has. So let's say there's maybe someone you don't want to keep, or maybe they have low rents, you got to get them out, you want to renovate the property. It's very easy in a New Jersey court to ask them to leave because you are living in the property. Absolute crucial hack that my wife and I have used many times. We've never had to go to we never had to actually go to eviction court. We've always given 60 days notice when we acquire a new property, and for the most part, 99% of the time, tenants will maybe give a little bit of a pushback, but they're going to know they have to move out, especially if they talk to an attorney or someone from a legal field, because they're going to tell them, well, there's no ground here for you to stay because he's owner occupying, or the new owner's owner occupying the property. So that is really, really amazing hack, meaning eviction court for house hackers goes really fast, really smooth, and you don't have to worry about it. Huge hack right there. Which then brings me into my next thing. New Jersey is not landlord friendly. Oh my gosh, you hear that all the time, especially on these real estate forums. You see these gurus from other states say, come invest in Ohio, come invest in Pennsylvania, everywhere else. Most of the time, the people saying this have never invested in northern New Jersey or New Jersey at all, and they're commenting saying how bad of a state it is. We do definitely have wacky laws, but something that we've learned is that there are towns that you invest in and there's towns you stay away from. There are some towns in New Jersey that are really bad. So with that being said, a lot of it is town by town. Although we do have some wacky laws in our state, a lot of the wacky laws tend to be 5 units and greater, not 4 units and under, which is considered residential. So you're able to kind of fly beneath the radar, I should say, with some of the wacky New Jersey laws. And I mean, I kid you not, we have yet to miss a single payment of rent across our properties, my wife and I. We're yet to go through the eviction phase or do any of that because we've never had tenants that don't pay. We've had very good tenants. So, you know, obviously that a lot of that has to do with screening and knowing how to find the right people and doing all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, in terms of having making the state out to be such a crazy landlording state, it possibly could be in some ways, but if you do the work properly up front, or if you hire an expert, yeah, okay, I have to say that again, you can find the right tenants and not have to worry about the issues of going through the hassle of maybe, getting the not so good of tenants in there. So I think that the writing is on the wall there. If you think New Jersey is not landlord friendly, by all means, drop a comment below. Love to hear your story and what was so bad about the state. But we've had such success here over the years. The numbers speak for themselves. Or maybe I'm just a very, very lucky person. I don't know, but I'll tell you this much. My clients haven't had issues with it as well. My mentors haven't had issues with it as well. We've all collected hundreds upon thousands of months of rent. I kid you not, we're probably tens of thousands of months of rent, including myself, my client, my mentor, with all the units we have, without missing a single payment. It's just whatever. You can figure that one out yourself there if you think we're not landlord friendly. Okay, really quick before I move on to this last one, if you haven't already, make sure you click subscribe so you can stay up to date with everything that's happening in northern New Jersey. But we also, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on here, because this is the huge one. You can't cash flow in northern New Jersey. And a lot of people, especially those gurus from other states, that love saying, go buy my turnkey property and I'm going to do all the work for you and you're not going to do a thing. Well, a lot of those people, like I said, they've never invested in northern New Jersey, and they claim they have cash flow, maybe they get, you know, $50, $100 a month for whatever money you have to put down. We get that too, especially with our appreciation, like I talked about earlier. So remember, you break even in northern New Jersey, you're gonna go up $100 more every year, $100 more pretty easily. So, you know, you might not have the cash flow on day one, but you definitely get to it. With all that being said, I'm telling you, you can cash flow New Jersey, and I'm going to break it down right now. But before I do, I want to let you know I get phone calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you looking to buy, sell, invest in northern New Jersey and get awesome house hacking loans. If you want to get a house hacking loan that can absolutely change your life, it doesn't matter if it's northern New Jersey or all 50 states. I happen to have really good house hacking loans. Text me at the number you'll see in the description below and say lending, text lending, and I will make sure to get you that loan information if you want a house hack. Okay, let's keep going here. Reach out anytime. Always happy to have a one-on-one. But here we go. Can you cash flow in northern New Jersey? I kid you not, this is 2025 and I've got clients that are cash flowing. I've got clients that are making money. I've got clients that have one unit that pays the bulk of the mortgage while, you know, maybe they're living in a unit paying a couple $100 a month. They move out, they're absolutely cash flowing. I've got clients that have moved out of their house hacks that are killing it cash flow wise, and a lot of it has to do with creative rental strategies. You know, it is a little bit tough if you're going to do a traditional long-term rental to cash flow. But I always say, you know, the things that you want in this world, it's not always the easiest option that gets you the best results. I mean, that's pretty common. You got to put the work in somewhere. So if you're open-minded to doing creative rental strategies, especially in a market like northern New Jersey, you absolutely can cash flow and make more money than a lot of the other long-term rentals out there. Things like a midterm rental, college rental, even short-term rentals, they're all options that produce large sums of revenue coming into your property that gives you that cash flow. So to answer your question, that is absolutely a myth that you can't cash flow. You can cash flow in northern New Jersey. We're doing it. I've got clients who are doing it all the time, and it's just a matter of looking at things differently. You can't look at things like everyone else using Zillow comps and you know, a lot of this I use off-market comps from clients and to make sure that we can have the data to back it up to show that these properties really can produce. But yeah, you absolutely can cash flow in this state. So I hope there's a lot of information. If you have some myths about northern New Jersey, maybe I missed one, maybe you have a question, you know, you can drop a comment below. That's me that's always on here answering these things. But I love house hacking in this state, and you know, it just has gotten my wife and I to a high level of financial freedom. So I'm very biased towards this place. It's working great for us, and I know it can for you. I know it is for plenty of my clients. I'll see you on the next one. You might want to check this video out right now.